Every online transaction starts with a physical disconnect. You are sitting in a room, staring at a screen, being asked to trade real money for an item you cannot touch, hold, or test. The brain immediately starts calculating risk. Will the fabric feel cheap? Is the shipping going to be a nightmare? Will I look at my bank statement next week and regret clicking that button? The standard industry response to this hesitation is to try and brute force the sale using high-pressure marketing. This playbook relies on exaggerated promises, flash warnings that only 2 items remain in stock, and giant red clocks ticking down to force a quick decision. If we look at this line graph tracking a shopper's hesitation, we see how that strategy backfires. When you artificially rush a decision, the customer's anxiety spikes, their defensive instincts kick in, and the emotional risk rises. High-performing brands take a different path. Instead of turning up the heat, they focus entirely on removing the sources of hesitation. Long-term growth in e-commerce requires an environment where making the purchase feels genuinely safe to execute. We can call this process emotional risk reduction, the systematic dismantling of buyer anxiety at every stage of the checkout journey. Standard product descriptions often raise skepticism by using dense, hyperbolic marketing jargon. When a brand tries this hard to convince you, it usually signals a lack of confidence in the product itself. High-performing brands prioritize the calm approach seen on the right. They provide clear, realistic answers to obvious customer concerns without relying on exaggeration. This same logic applies to social proof. A wall of uniform 5-star testimonials feels manufactured to a modern shopper. It suggests the feedback has been overly curated. Using authentic, balanced reviews builds immediate credibility through transparency. It provides a stable foundation of trust that helps a customer feel secure in their choice. By providing full transparency in product details and reviews, a brand proves it is secure enough in its product that it doesn't need to obscure potential flaws. This transparency must carry through to the final hurdle, the return policy. When a buyer encounters complex legal language in a policy, they feel trapped. This adversarial tone pushes them back into a defensive posture right before the point of sale. Translating these policies into simple language shifts the feeling from being pressured by a corporation to being guided by a partner. Beyond the policy, every interaction counts. Calm communication and strictly realistic promises create a predictable service environment. This grid illustrates how the brain reacts. When a brand appears controlled and transparent, it neutralizes the human threat response to unknown outcomes. Once that emotional stability is established, the customer spends less time doubting their choice and proceeds naturally to the purchase. While these mechanics help secure the first sale, the real return is found in long-term customer retention. Aggressive tactics might successfully bully a customer into a single, anxious purchase, but that pressure destroys the potential for a second one. There is a compounding financial dividend to being a calm brand. Customers who feel emotionally safe during their first visit return naturally, without the need for constant remarketing. As this chart shows, the trust established in the first interaction means the baseline anxiety is permanently reduced for every future visit. This lower friction translates directly into smoother repeat behavior and a compounding increase in customer lifetime value. To apply this to your own business, you must first identify the single biggest uncertainty your target market faces before they are willing to buy. Address that uncertainty with absolute clarity at the earliest point in the journey, long before the customer reaches the checkout page. In a digital ecosystem flooded with loud persuasion tactics, engineering emotional safety provides a direct mathematical advantage for scalable growth.